Hello folks, Jesse Wright here with YouCouldBe.com, and today I'm going to tell you how you can retire in 6 years. All right, I'm going to go over here to Quora.com. Someone asks, how do I invest to generate passive income and retire early? I have $75,000 saved up in my bank account. I'm 24 years old. I want to generate passive income and retire by 30. What should I do with the money, or how should I invest it? All right, I'm going to tell you a little story about my investment journey, but before I do that, I want everyone to pop open in a separate tab Zillow.com or HomePath.com, which is Fannie Mae's foreclosure listing website, or some equivalent. I like HomePath's website, Fannie Mae's foreclosure listing. So pop open HomePath.com, and just whatever state you're in, as long as you're east of the Mississippi, which I guess that's kind of an assumption for me, but just pop open do a search on any state east of the Mississippi River in the United States, and sort your listings from low to high. I want you to see how many properties are available at an insanely low price. Now, back to my story. This is the very first property that I ever invested in. It cost me $9,500. Contrary to what I was told, it was a great investment. A lot of people were telling me, no, don't invest there. Things are going to happen to you. It's going to get broken into. But I knew better, because I got to know the neighborhood intimately. I got to know all the neighbors. The house had already been vacant for a year, and there had been no vandalism whatsoever, had no broken windows. I actually left a $300 drill accidentally in the yard one weekend while I was rehabbing it, and nobody touched it for those 3 days that it was just sitting out there for God and everybody to see. So here I was. I bought this property for $9,500. I did have to fix it up. I had to rip up a bunch of parquet flooring and replace flooring myself. I did hire somebody to replace the HVAC units. But after everything was said and done, I still only had $5,500 in the rehab. So the total cost of the property was $15,000, and I had it rented out for $650 a month before I even finished the rehab. So after my taxes and my insurance and all my extra fees come out, I still profited $6,000 a year off that property. Do you realize what that means? That's a 40% rate of return on my initial investment. That's 40% of $15,000. Okay? $6,000 in income that I'm making extra every single year off of that first $15,000. So of course, when I got my first taste of that, I needed more, and I went out and I got it, and I did it again, and I'm at the point now where yes, I could retire. I would have enough passive income. I do have enough passive income to pay all my bills and still have some to reinvest and goof off, but I'm so hooked, I'm not going to stop anytime soon. So here's a picture of my second property. I bought that one for $12,700. After the rehab was finished, I had a little less than $21,000 in it. I'm still making 40% off that property too, and I average that. I average 40%. Sometimes I do a little less, and sometimes I do better. Sometimes I get closer to the 50% range. So I say all that to say that you're at this point in your life where you can do something crazy amazing. If you do things according to conventional wisdom, you're going to screw it up so bad, okay? Conventional wisdom is average wisdom, and you don't want to be average. This is not a channel for average people. This is a channel for people that want to do amazing things, that want to be great. And if that's what you want, then I'll show you how to do it, all right? So I'm going to pull up a couple examples, not just for you, but for everyone that's watching this video, just to see what kind of opportunity is out there. I'm going to go to homepath.com, and I'm going to do a search in an area that I don't invest in, so I don't have to worry about anybody coming and competing with me. So I'm going to go to Ohio, all right? And this is the statewide. Investing like this, you do have to be willing to drive sometimes a couple hours. I do own properties in my hometown, but I also own properties about an hour south of me, and that's where I make the big bucks. So I also do my own rehabs for the most part, because by doing my own rehabs, I've become intimately familiar with the process. I know exactly how much everything is going to cost. So when I go look at new properties, I know, hey, this is going to cost me $600. This is going to cost me $2,000. This is going to cost me $500. And I'm able to tell very quickly, is this going to be a good investment or is this going to be a bad investment? And you can't do that as well when you're hiring it out, and you also make extremely expensive mistakes. Another reason I advise people to invest in low-cost property is because when you do that, one, you're going to be using your own money. You're probably not going to get a loan. When you use your own money, you are so careful. And when you don't have a lot of it, you end up looking for every possible way to save money and find super amazing deals. So I also recommend using your own money. Now, here we are. We're in Ohio, and I've got everything sorted from low to high. We're going to skip past the first few, and we're going to go to the first property that costs more than $10,000. So that property is in Toledo, and it is $10,999. And just going to go ahead and pop open the pictures here. It's 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,202 square feet. I love buying properties that are still 3-bedroom, but they're on the low end for square footage. I would never buy a property that had 2,500 square feet if it was for a rental, because that's twice the square footage that you have to worry about. Reflooring, twice the amount of paint, twice the amount of time painting and reflooring, and so on and so forth. So let's again take a look at this brand new architectural roof from the looks of it. I like the stairs. That's pretty cool. It really looks pretty decent. Got a garage, carport. I love the paneling. The cool thing about paneling, a lot of people don't like it because it's ugly, but it won't affect your renters at all. You won't have any problem getting renters, and if you leave it like it is, you'll never have to paint again. So, huge plus on the paneling. One of the reasons that this property is cheap is because everything's been ripped out of the kitchen. So you can do this again the conventional way, the way that conventional wisdom would dictate, where you go in and you just do it like there's no tomorrow, and you put in granite countertops and you get a $2,000 fridge. That's not how we do things. What we want to do is we want to offer someone something that looks decent and that's that's just functional. It works the way it's supposed to. So if you do it that way, you can get yourself some cabinets from Home Depot, get yourself some countertops and so on and so forth from Home Depot, and all your like a Frigidaire, $500 fridge, and so on and so forth. You could be done with this kitchen for no more than $2,500, $2,000. Everything else looks great. You may not even have to spend time on painting. And I don't know if you guys noticed this. I just noticed it. I'm seeing all these little stickers on these windows, and they're yellow, and I think that's because they're brand new. I could be wrong. But normally if it's like one of those stickers that's telling people, hey, we have a security system, you don't see the color on the inside, so that makes me think those windows might be new. Anyway, so this property is $11,000. Typically when I'm purchasing Fannie Mae properties, I try to get it for 80%. If the market is more competitive, sometimes I'll go up to 90%, and in this example, we're going to assume that you're going to pay 90% of the ask price, so we're just going to say $10,000. Now, you have property taxes, $460 a year, very low, and that's great. That means when it goes vacant, you're not going to have a lot of expenses. I was just looking at a property the other day in Ohio that had $6,000 a year in property taxes, $600 a month in taxes, or $500 a month. It's just ridiculous. So, so we're going to get the property for $10,000. We have a little bit in taxes, property taxes, and those are going to be prorated against our closing costs and our title insurance and so on and so forth. When you buy cheap property like this, you just don't have a lot tied up in closing. So after we factor in the taxes that are getting prorated and the title and the closing cost, you're only out an extra $250, $300. So I'm going to say you have this property for $10,250. It's very, very reasonable. you're only going to put in another, little. We're just going to say it's going to be an even 15 when you're done with it. You should have no problem getting this house fully renovated and still have $15,000 into it. So let's go look at the rents now. This is something that Fannie Mae does. They have a deal with rentrange.com where RentRange will give them these reports. It's a free basic report to you. Click on See More, and I'm going to go ahead and pop open that report. And you'll see low, median, and high rents. And all of these reports are different. You'll notice that this one is based on a radius search of 0.5 miles, so half a mile. Looks like there were 30 comparable properties in that half a mile radius, so you're getting a lot of variation. It should be more accurate because of that. So you'll notice that this median rent is $685 a month. Now, I know for a fact, I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but you could actually rent this property out for about $800 a month, get it direct deposited into your account every single month, but I'm not going to talk about that. That's going to be saved for the Section 8 video. We're going to just say that you're going to rent this property out for the median rent of $685 a month. That's all I pulled this report open for. So let's just pop open the calculator. Let's do the math here. We've got this property, $15,000 after everything is said and done, just like my first property. I didn't do that on purpose. It's just how it worked out. $685 times 12 months. All right, that's $8,220. We're gonna take out $500 for those yearly property taxes, and then we're gonna take out another $650 for insurance. And whoop, I did something wrong. All right, let's do that one more time. 685 times 12. Sorry, guys. And we're going to take out $500 a month in taxes, and we're going to take out $650 in insurance, and then we're going to say, let's just say another $1,000 a year that we're going to allocate towards maintenance and repairs, which I think is very reasonable, especially on this property. It looks like it has a brand new roof. You're not going to have to pay for a roof for another 20-30 years. So we're going to take out another $1,000 right here. And that leaves us a net profit, a yearly profit of $6,070. And when you multiply that out 2.5 years, you can see that that's right around your purchase price, $15,175. I guess let's just divide that by 2.5. Let's see what our actual interest rate right here is. 6,070 divided by 15,000. 40.46% interest. So that's how you do that. Now let's take a look at what this person, I don't know what the name is on this this questions. I don't know who asked this question. Maybe I don't know how to use Quora, but I don't see any information on them, so maybe they just asked it anonymously. But year one, you have $75,000. You're going to buy 3 houses that cost you $25,000. I mean, of course, you could do more at the rate that we just discussed, but I'm just trying to keep it simple. And as a general rule of thumb, as long as you can get that 40% rate of return, you want to go as expensive as possible so that you have less tenants, less headaches, less houses, but you're still making the same amount of money. So we're going to say 3 houses, $25,000 a piece, and at 40%, your first year, you're going to make $30,000 off of those rentals. You're going to take that $30,000 and you're going to buy 1 house. Same thing, same principle, as few houses as possible where we can still get that 40% rate of return. So now you have 4 houses, and you're bringing it, that year you brought in $42,000. Year 3, $42,000. You're going to buy 2 more houses at $21,000 a piece, and those 6 houses that you now own are going to profit you just shy of $60,000. Okay, so you're going to take that $58,800. You're going to buy 2 more houses. I know this is getting boring, but I'm trying to take you through the 6-year progression. 40% of those 8 houses is going to bring you in $82,000 that year. So it took you 4 years, and now you've already got more yearly income than you started out with that lump sum of $75,000. So year 5, you're going to take what you have, and you're going to buy 4 more houses, and you're going to end up with a yearly profit that year of $115,000. What we're doing here is we're creating compound interest. We're taking the interest that we're earning off of our investment and we're compounding it. So you can take this out. You're going to see real quick if you do this that it snowballs very quickly, and it does not take a lot. It only takes a few more years, and you're making $1 million a year. So, but at the end of year 6, you have a total of 18 houses, and you're bringing in $161,347 a year. Now, I know at this point some people might say, oh, well, that's only if you execute everything flawlessly and, you can get the houses at just the right time and so on and so forth. And you know what? They're right. Maybe you're only going to be able to make $120,000 a year at the end of 6 years. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, that is how you retire in 6 years or less. This is Jesse Wright with YouCouldBe.com. That's UKUDB.com. I will see you guys in the next video.